we start off with an interesting conundrum, which is that I've got 3 brown cards that I could use to find doors, but I also have 1 key, which would help me choose my next move with safety, knowing what's coming up in the deck. On principle here, I'm going to go for getting rid of the key and seeing a prophecy. I might get lucky and have a brown card come up. I didn't, but I can nab this red door by using this key, which I'm going to put to come up first, and then transition into playing with the red card. So red sun, red moon, red sun is what I think will earn me the first 2 red doors really early in this game. We'll get rid of this green card, and we get to play the red sun. Here comes the door, which we earn with the key. And as I replenish my hand, we will... Well, we've got a nightmare card. I'm uncertain as the best way to get rid of that, but I think I'll just get rid of 5 cards from the top. Wow, okay, fine. So only 2 cards are leaving, and I've got rid of 3 nightmare cards in a row, so that was probably a pretty good outcome. Obviously, that's just luck-based, but I think there's something to be said for if you're about to earn a door, just discarding the top 5 cards of the deck, especially early in the game, because you never know how lucky you will get. The more cards you're discarding, the worse it is. But sometimes you'll only be discarding 2 or 3 cards. We got rid of that already. And here's the next door. So we've got both of the red doors. Really interesting, so early in the game. That's never happened to me before. And red cards are the most common cards. So I don't know exactly what to think about that. Next, we will probably be going for brown or blue. It's going to depend on what comes up in my hand. I'd love a key, but that's unlikely to happen. So we've drawn the blue cards, so let's go with blue, of course. There's a door. And a blue key. Okay, so I'm tempted to risk it here and just continue playing the plain blue cards rather than using that new blue key. Just for the fact that I'm going to play 2 cards now, and then I'm going to have to shuffle again. So it would be a little bit of a waste of a key. And there's the door. Oh, was that it? No. The blue door's the only one that I ever really get mixed up with the nightmare cards. Okay. So now we've earned another door, and we have a key. So we've got the option of going for brown cards. It will depend on what I pick up, but I'm fairly certain I will go straight for using that key. And there we go. Let's get rid of that key. We'll see what's coming up. So obvious choice in terms of getting rid of the nightmare card. And now what I'm thinking here is if you look at the brown cards that I'm going to have when I pick up this moon, if I were to play all those 3, it would have to be moon, sun, moon. But we're currently on a moon, so I need to pick up this green sun to change the symbol and allow me to play those brown cards all in a row. I'm going to have to shuffle in the middle of doing that, but that's no problem really. So we pick up that and use it to frame shift, and then we can start with our brown cards. Now we're going to have to shuffle. We know those are coming up. Okay, so we've got that in our hand. We've got a bit of flexibility with brown cards. Doesn't really matter. Sorry, I've dropped a card on the floor there. Let's give it a shuffle and continue with earning the next door, which is going to be, unless something awful happens, a brown door. And there it is. And we've picked up another key. So this is a really good example of how good card draws combined with correct plays can really make this game eminently winnable and very interesting strategically. It's not simple. There are choices to be made. Nightmare card, I'll get rid of that with my key. And we've got another key. Am I tempted to use it or keep playing? We don't have any green doors, so I am tempted to keep playing Wait, sorry. We've already got red. That changes my calculation. No, because I've only got 2 cards in red, I'll discard instead. So let's try and... Okay, so now we want to use the keys. Well, red cards are not useful, except for frame shifting now. So I think I'll risk once more. Okay, good. Now it's time to decide which key to use. I can't really see any way to differentiate, except that I have 1 blue door and no green doors. So blue key is going to go because I only need 1 more blue door. I think that makes the most sense. Okay, so green door comes first because I can earn it with my key, so that's going to be great. Red key will come up. After that, could go for green cards. Now, I'm going to throw this one out, and let me explain why. I'm going to earn this door straight away, and then straight away pick up these 2 green cards, giving me sufficient cards to go for the second green door. And then the key will come after that. The red key. So there's the door. So 1 door of each colour. And we pick up those 2 green suns. And we start playing, because we're in the right frame as well. Now we're running... the question here is it useful to use the key now or later? I'm going to have to shuffle in 2 cards, so I'll risk it. If a nightmare comes up, I can get rid of it. And it hasn't. So we made the right choice, based on a guess. But, you know, it's an informed guess. And we've found our second green door. Where are we? Here we are. And we're just 2 doors away from another win. And this one was a really interesting one. So far, good cards have come up. There's been interesting decisions. And I think that's really representative of how Onirim feels normally. So... I'm just going to get on with playing some brown cards, to be honest. Feeling a little ambitious. Okay, now this brown card obviously doesn't work right now, so let's have a look at the prophecy to see what's coming up. Wow! Look at all those keys. 3 keys. Nightmare cards being thrown out. So I'm going to pick up that... Yeah, I'm going to pick up that brown key and then discard some cards to get the next 2 keys. So I need to pick up 3 cards before I finish it with the brown key. The reason I'm not waiting is I have so many spare keys. So we pick up that. We're going to discard for next key. We'll discard green because we have both green doors. And now we've got all 3 keys that we saw, so we can just get rid of one of those keys, the brown one, just to earn that door. And there's only 1 left, which worked out really well. There's that door. Oh, shuffle, excuse me. So, 1 more door. We've got some blue cards. I'm going to use a prophecy first, just for safety. Because at this point in the game, you certainly don't want to be conservative with your cards. You want to get rid of them. I've got both of these colours, so it doesn't really matter which one I use. Let's just use the red one. We'll see what's coming up. We're looking for any blue card to sort of guide me on what to do. So another nightmare's gone. These 4 cards aren't very useful. So, doesn't really matter what order I put them in. I'm going to be discarding cards until I've got through a couple of cards. Reason being, if I played 2 blue cards... I don't want to do that until I know what's coming up. So we're just going to discard a few cards. I think I saw 1 more. And there it is. Look at that. So we've got the correct cards now. Now, the options when you've got your last triplet of cards and a key is you can use the key to counter any nightmares, or have a look at the prophecy and get rid of any nightmare cards that are coming up. The risk with each of those is, if there's multiple nightmare cards and you only have 1 key, you could get hit if you just use the key if the nightmares come up, because the second one might hit you. The risk with using it as a prophecy is maybe you can't get enough to the back, enough of the prophecies to the back of the queue, I mean. But all in all, I feel using the prophecy, you can discard at least 1 of those nightmare cards. And now we know we've won the game so easily. Key at the front, just in case. And then we go 1, and 2, and 3. And that was an absolutely super game. That was top notch. I'll just raise this up a little so that you can see that. That really was top notch. There are so many more cards left in the deck. We had so much leeway. 1, 2, 3, 4 nightmare cards left, so I'd got rid of a hefty chunk of them into the discard pile. And didn't have to resolve many of them either. So, what did I think of this game? This game really showed how, as you get better and get used to some of the situations that can come up with the cards, you can make better decisions, and you start to make decisions based on probabilities and likelihoods that aren't necessarily something you do consciously or mathematically. It's more sort of, you gain that sort of intuition and making the correct choices with keys and nightmare cards. That's really the bread and butter of this great little solo card game that I really, really love. And over the course of the next few videos, I think I'll be showing you some of the expansions that I'm still yet to try, and I'm very excited about learning those. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and see you next time.